Welcome, Cindy Ann. Thanks so much for coming. And
great to be here. Thank you.
I wondered if you could tell me a little bit about your background and what you're doing now in the blockchain.
Most certainly. So I originally come from the IT and telecom sectors. I've been in the IT and telco space for about 15 years. Originally, I was born actually in sub-Saharan Africa, South Africa to be more particular. And I moved to the US a couple of years ago and have been in blockchain with Dispatch Labs. I started my blockchain career with Dispatch Labs, which is now a protocol, so it's called Dispatch Protocol. I'm an advisor to the Bureau, which is the incubator and a consulting for company within the blockchain space.
Fabulous. Well, it sounds like you're really busy. Can you tell me what obstacles or challenges you may have faced as a woman in this space?
Sure. So I think women have a lot of issues around diversity and inclusion still to this day. I definitely feel like Silicon Valley is pretty much still an old boys club. If you have a look at the big companies like AWS, Amazon, Google, it's still very much, who you know. And I think women have a tough time breaking through the glass ceiling. Okay. And there's a big issue around culture diversity as well, especially with Hispanics or, different types of people, African Americans. Myself, being an African, I've experienced it firsthand. So I think it's a very interesting dynamic here.
And yet the paradox of it is it's like living in the world here because there's so many different nationalities. But yeah, you're right. I guess we all naturally have diversity issues. So
correct.
I was wondering if you could tell me then what opportunities you see for women in this space.
So I think that there's huge amounts of opportunities for women in the blockchain space. Originally, I worked on a financial inclusion program in Africa with Ericsson. And that financial inclusion program was all about creating wealth and creating a better financial society for the unbanked. And I definitely feel that, blockchain could be taken into Africa and emerging markets around the world. So I'm helping companies bridge into Africa. Companies like IBM, we actually were talking with IBM to see if we could forge a partnership and take, blockchain into various parts of Africa and look at supply chain and, financial inclusion, because there is still a massive gap in terms of creating wealth and, sharing wealth within emerging markets where there are no formal structures. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a massive opportunity. For women particularly, there's something called the female CFO, and she's typically the head of the household bank account, and that's in emerging markets. Okay. Yeah, so it's very exciting times for, various women in blockchain. And yeah.
I have noticed since the craze, I've been following Bitcoin since 2008 when I was in Ireland, but I have noticed that the women seem to be coming to the forefront in the blockchain crypto space, which is just amazing to me, and joining forces and supporting each other, which is just really fabulous as far as I'm concerned. Where do you think personally we're going with the blockchain and crypto?
So I think that it is definitely a bear market today. I think we've had crypto winter. The Bitcoin share price crashed at the end of last year, and it created a deficit in terms of companies wanting to invest. So investment had dried up quite a bit at the end of last year, but I think we're starting to see it warming up a bit. There's definitely a crypto spring at the moment to coincide with spring in San Francisco. Right. And I think things are probably turning around. We've seen some of, Bitcoin's jumped up again. The big banks are talking about getting involved, especially in terms of stable coins. IBM has got heavily involved, so has Deloitte. So has, Morgan Stanley. Various big companies are starting to invest in blockchain. Right. And it's very exciting to watch the space. NASDAQ was even talking about getting into the crypto market. So I think it's a great time to be in the market. I'm still a little bit conservative, but I think there is a huge future for blockchain.
What I'm appreciating about this year is that it seems like all that's left are the ones that are serious about building products and services. And whereas last year and the end of 2017, there was a lot of froth and people that came and went.
Yes, exactly. There's a lot of hype.
Yeah.
So we called it FOMO. So I've been most of my career I've been in marketing communications and building strategies for companies, go-to-market strategies in particular. I'm really passionate about. And what I've noticed is there was a lot of hype. There was a lot of FOMO. I was at New York City Blockchain Week last year in May. There were over 7,000 delegates. Big companies were sending over 100 delegates, the corporates, to attend. It was part of the World Economic Forum agenda this year in Davos. Yes. As part of the fourth industrial revolution. So I think there's huge hype. There has been huge hype, and because of the bear market, what's happened is it's filtered out the hype, and those that are strong players are still in it. And I think those that are still in it are taking it seriously. And I definitely feel there's a shift.
Great. I think the future looks bright, and hopefully really positive things will come out of it for us all.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming, and I'm so looking forward to the panel.
Yeah, so am I. Thank you so much for hosting me here today. I think it's really exciting.